Hello, hello, and welcome to our new episode of the Wonder Tooth podcast. Today, we have a very genuine person, Timmy Phillips. So, Timmy is a life coach, he's a business coach, he's a mentor, he's a wellness coach. He is a very big guy. Like, guys, hey, he has big muscles. He's a father, and he is an amazing person. Welcome to the show, Timmy. How are you today?
Oh man, I'm extremely well, full of gratitude. I'm so grateful whenever, like, if you can't tell, one of my love language is the words of affirmation. So I'm so grateful whenever I ever get edified. I don't take it for granted, So thank you for having me on. Let's start there. Thank you.
Well, we're so happy to have you today because we want to listen. We want to listen to you and to all the pearls. Um, First of all, why did you become a coach, like a business coach? What made you do that?
So most definitely, I believe this like pure as day. You have to really get aware and get coherent what's going on in your heart, right? So, and I say that because my background growing up, and I'm just here to have a conversation with you and the viewers, right? So I'm gonna be very open and very honest. My mom's been addicted to drugs my whole life. Her drug of choice was crack cocaine. My father was a hardworking man, but imagine having a son at 21 years old and then finding out the woman who it was a one night stand. It was supposed to be a one night stand, right? I had other plans, right? And
Yeah.
then you find out, oh, this woman's addicted to drugs. Now I'm in a state by myself trying to raise a baby. There, furthermore, a son, which is big for him because he didn't have a father. So now he's trying to figure it all out, right? So I say that to understand the environment I grew up in was very interesting, right?
Yeah.
So even within that environment, though, I remember when I was younger, I innately always wanted to be somebody that helped people. I didn't know what it was, even if it was in school and people were getting bullied, or like in high school, if there was like the gothic kids and they were sitting by themselves, I'd be the person that would go up and at least acknowledge them. How are you doing? How's your day? Right. And in high school, I wasn't like the most popular, but I was popular because of the person I was, not because I had all the clothes and money, because I didn't. My living situation was interesting, but of my character and the person I was, right? So for me, getting into the coaching aspect in life, I really started by first helping myself. Let's start there. Because I was living in the crack house, right? I was living with my mom, and I was living in the crack house. And I remember just getting, I don't know if you ever felt this way in life, but I feel everybody has a point in their life where they feel like you're just going crazy. You don't know which way is left or right, what's up or down. And it's like, and really, on a spiritual level, it's breaking down your ego of who you think you are. But at that time, I didn't know any of that. I just feel like I have no idea what's going on in my life. And I remember looking at the ceiling. And at this moment, I thought I was going to ask, I'll say God, but whatever you claim the higher power as, because people have many different names, but we can all agree there's something bigger than us that makes all this work. And I thought I was going to ask for more money. That's what I thought. I was like, if I have money, I'll fix all my problems. But what I said is I said, I just want to know what it feels like to be happy. Because at that point in my life, I couldn't remember the last time I was happy.
Wow.
And it's so crazy. So what started happening is, I started working out 3 times a day, not because I wanted to, but because I didn't want to be home. And it was the one area of my life where I found some type of happiness and some type of joy. And I just kept doing it, right? And I also didn't want to be home. It kept me away from home, right? And so what happened in that process, I started learning how to get into the best shape of my life. And, I partnered with a nutrition company. I really learned how to balance both lifestyles. And as I started healing myself, even just physically, even if you just start healing yourself physically, what I started learning, I said, you know what? I remember the first time I had a 6-pack, and this was the only thought that I had. I smiled in the mirror, and I hadn't remembered the last time I smiled. And I said, wow, this is what this feels like. I want to help other people have the same feeling for the rest of my life. So really, I was following my bliss. And then as I was finding it, I wanted to share that with humankind. And that's the genesis of how I got started in what I do, right? Now, if you would have told me at the time, like it would take me all across the world, here, there, speaking in different places. I wouldn't have even known that's what I was going to do at the time, but I was following my bliss. And that's very important.
Of course. And you raised from the ashes up.
Yes.
You have happiness is a state of mind, but you took it to a whole different level at this point. You took it from just trying to be happy to trying to help others. And I think that's your purpose. I think you really found your purpose.
Yes. They always say there's two important days in life: the day you're born and the day you find out why. And
Yeah.
The thing is with purpose too, and I think a lot of people, they marginalize themselves with it because they're always looking for like one specific thing. And I feel like your purpose is part of your core of who you are. And I see my core is helping people. And I just so chose to do it in the realm of health, fitness, business, mentorship, and all that stuff. But as I've matured, I realized, even though I believe a person should have a plan A, like what they're using their purpose towards, and master that. But as I've grown, I realized your purpose is really your way of being. So if I go I'll tell you a story. I was on a plane last week, and there's an elder lady, and this is why it's so important to operate from your morals and principles and not your emotions. So it's an elder lady. She taps me on my shoulder, and I look behind, and she says, put this up in the hanger for me. Now, I couldn't hear her saying please, right? And human ego, I'm like, hold on, you didn't even say please, right? So I kind of smile, and I turn around. I just tell her, I was like, next time say please. Now, she said she did. I didn't have my headphone. I didn't hear it. So I'll put it up. And then we get off the plane, and her hat flies off because we landed in Massachusetts. So her blue hat flies off. I pick the hat up and give it to her. Now, I did that not because she was, proper or kind. I did that because that's my character. That's who I am at my core. So everything that I do is going to be in alignment as long as I follow that. So that's really what I believe. Like, you're right. Helping people is my purpose. It's part of who I am. And honestly, the quickest way to joy is to start helping people.
Absolutely.
And people don't get that. What you give is what you'll get back. As a matter of fact, every thought and action you do is really what's going on inside.
Yeah.
So if you just start giving to people, you're bringing happiness into their life. Now, I don't make the laws of the universe, but I'm not going to jump off a building and then say, why is there a law of gravity? Right? I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to trust that that's real. So there's law of correspondence. People sometimes say karma, sowing and reaping. So I don't know. 1 + 1 = 2. So if you start just naturally, genuinely helping other people get happy, dictated by the law, eventually you're going to find happiness. That's just how it happens.
This is like the book, The Secret. The laws of, I read that book like years ago, and it kind of, it's literally karma. You do good, you're going to get good. You do bad, well, wait, what's going to happen back? Yeah, absolutely. So so I want you to talk to us about your business right now. What are you doing? Yeah.
So I'm a lifestyle coach, right? So basically, to keep it simple, what I do is I help people get into the best shape of their life. But most people, when they want to do that, this is what happens, right? Most people say, they wake up, today is the day I'm getting in shape, right? So they'll do one action. Maybe they go to the local supplement store and get some supplements and vitamins. Maybe they go to the gym and get a trainer. Maybe they go see a nutritionist and get a meal plan, right? But then they got to go all these 3 different places, right? And a lot of the times they don't go all 3 different places. A lot of times they go one and they have to figure out the other, and they have to figure out the other. And you're paying almost probably $1,000 or more. On the other side, you come here immediately. You get the world's #1 supplements. You get a meal guide. I help you figure out what to eat, how much to eat, times to eat, and all that kind of stuff. What's healthy, what's not healthy. You get the fitness aspect because we have a health and fitness app with literal recorded videos of what workouts to do. Whether you're a lady in the gym trying to get a bikini body, trying to build a bigger butt, you're a guy want to build bigger muscles, want to get more athletically fit, with nutrition courses and everything. So it's literally like a one-stop shop, right? And it just so happens my business model set up that I can actually teach, mentor, and groom other people to do exactly what I do. So then that's how the business mentorship comes into it too. Now, do all my clients do that? No. I have a lot of clients that just remain clients for life. But some eventually wake up and say, you know what? They get that little human feeling, that little itch. If I have people that wake up sometimes crying, like I got into the best shape of my life. I had one of my first clients said, Timmy, this is the first summer I will ever be able to wear a crop top and not feel self-conscious.
Wow.
I just want to thank you because you changed my life forever. Now, when people have that emotion, they can't keep it in, so they want to share it. So a lot of the times, these people become my business partners, and I help mentor them just like I was mentored. And then, it's like paying it forward. But that's the most simple way I can explain it. And then as what happens is, see, when you help somebody get healthy, right? All of a sudden, they don't realize it, but they give themselves more self-love. And they start loving themselves more. And then they're going to trust you. And then, because you've helped them get success in one area of life. So then they're going to start coming to you and start saying things like, well, asking your opinion about, well, what about this? And what about that?
Yeah.
Now, some people, the bus stops at, hey, I'm a health and wellness coach is what I do. Me, again, following my core, I realized really early, I said, man, 10 years ago, people would ask me questions and I'm like, oh, I want to help you, but I don't know the answer. Now, instead of saying that's outside of my spectrum, it's not what I do. I said, I identified. See, this is how we make money, right? We earn money because if people have a problem and you can give a solution and you can alleviate it, they're going to trade value to have that happen. So 10 years ago, I said, I'm going to start studying. I'm going to start reading books. I'm going to do everything because I wasn't even thinking I want to earn more money. I was simply thinking, if somebody asks me a question that needs help, I want to be able to help them, right?
Wow. So what kind of books did help you in this?
The biggest books that changed my life. The first one was Jim Rohn, Leading an Inspired Life. Business philosopher, really great book to learn about business philosophy and life. You hear a lot of concepts, and like one of the most powerful concepts in there is so simple, right? It's so simple. He says, when you're at work, work. When you're at play, play. So you're not always traveling. Because a lot of business owners, they'll be at work thinking, I should spend more time with my kids.
Yeah.
Then they'll be with their kids being, I should have got this done while I was at work. So you're never present. You're always traveling. So you're never home. So
too much distraction.
Yeah. So this book really helped me with things like that. Another book that changed my life was a book by Neville Goddard called The Power of Awareness.
Okay.
Now, this book taught me how to truly be in the imagination space on a deep metaphysical level and a deep spiritual level and learn how this whole thing operates. Because you see, a lot of people go through life and they never want to find out, hold on, what does it mean? Like if I ask you this question, right, and to the viewers, I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
What does it mean to be a human? Like nobody, like people don't search that. Like, hold on. There's certain abilities and things that I have. I want to learn how it goes. So this book really helped me understand things like you read in The Secret, things like you read in the other stuff, right? Cool. Another one was by Bob Proctor, and it wasn't necessarily a book at first. It was the Science of Getting Rich YouTube video, and I watched it over and over and over and over. And then the next two books I'll say is As a Man Thinketh, right? This one was huge by James Allen because it made me aware to how my thoughts have created my reality. Because I was at a point, because, I started my business when I was 23 years young. And I've seen some success really early. And then imagine you're 23, making career level income, no responsibilities, young man.
Yeah.
You can get into some young man stuff. And then I had a daughter, and I was sitting at home at my dad's house, and I was crying. I'm like, man, how did this happen? And instead of playing victim, I said, well, I got to figure out how I did this so I can change it. And As a Man Thinketh helped me realize, now, even though it's called As a Man Thinketh, every human should read it, even the ladies, because it will help you identify, oh, this is how my thoughts have, it literally breaks down. These thoughts create these outcomes. These thoughts create these outcomes. And I looked at my life and I was like, right? Then I read Science of Getting Rich by Wallace
Mhm.
D. Wattles, and it literally teaches you on a spiritual level how riches come to you. And that's a
Mhm.
deep dive. That's an amazing thing. Like, and
Mhm.
it's so on the money. Different, even concepts like law of increase, if which is basically again like the law of karma. If every person that pays you, you always want to give people more use value than they pay you. Like even
Mhm.
you, the reason why you're so successful is because of the value you give. If I remember when I chipped my tooth and they told me
Yeah.
I had to wait for like 6 months, and I was so miserable.
Yeah.
I would pay anything just to get it done that day.
And we can do it the
And,
same day.
and you can do, you see what I'm saying? But you cared
Yeah.
enough and you put the time in to become a master. So you give some people, you give, that's why people probably text you that seen you
Yeah.
years ago and still say thank you.
Yeah. And
You
that's why
give,
we're getting a lot. Yes, absolutely. Lots of referrals. Actually, they don't even like, we don't even do marketing. We just keep getting patients from word of mouth because they heard about us and how we can fix their smile on the same day and how we use the technology. Like, yeah, absolutely.
exactly. Now, check this out. And because of your vibration and your mental attitude towards it, you don't know this. I have a team member here who has a chipped tooth. She
Mm-hmm.
wants to get it fixed. I'm like, you probably should talk to this lady I met on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's in New Jersey, it's a little drive, but it will probably be a better situation for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, however that manifests, it will manifest. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how things come to us, right?
Yeah.
And then, and you see, I can like look at the dots. We were a vibrational match. We
Yeah.
were happy people who were up to something. So it wasn't an accident while we sat together on the plane. And
Yeah.
you were in the wrong seat.
I know. I
But you actually
know.
was in the right seat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it all comes together. So these books help you connect the dots. And the last one, I'd say everybody should read this. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Oh.
Why? Because it's going to help you identify areas in your life that you should avoid. Because sometimes we want to study success, but sometimes we should study what failure looks like.
Yeah.
So we can, because failure, you see, failure isn't one big happening. Failure is really sneaky. It's really slick. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's really vague. It hides in the shadows. Oh, didn't wake up one time today? No problem. Didn't wake up one time for 90 days in a row? No problem. Didn't make our bed? No problem. Had one bad meal? No problem. And then
Mm-hmm.
all these add up. And really what happens is every time we do something that opposes what we said we're going to do, we're
True.
breaking our willpower and our self-image. And then
Yeah.
until we get so low in life that we don't do anything and we're just drifting. And people are always like, how did I get here? But if you
True.
know, you could be like, I get it. Outwitting the Devil. But those are the books that really that come to mind
Yeah.
immediately when I'm like, it really made an impact on me.
That's amazing. And I know you speak a lot, like in, different parts of the nation here. So tell me a little bit about it. How did you get to do that?
So it happened. It's so funny. Again, you know, you can't eat dinner until the plates are prepared.
True.
If there's no plates, if there's no bowls, if there's no forks, even if the food's cooked and ready, you can't eat it yet, right?
Yeah.
So again, I didn't realize exactly what was happening years ago, right? But as I started reading books and studying life and just working on myself and all that, right? And my company, when you hit the top 2%, you start getting asked, and actually it's not even the top 2%, it's actually top 6. But it just so happened I didn't get asked until I was in the top 2%. And at
Mm-hmm.
that point, I started getting asked to speak places. So I go speak somewhere and people would be like, wow, wow. And they tell everybody, you need to get Timmy to go speak.
Yeah.
People would come up to me and be like, you changed my life forever. Now, at first, I thought they were just saying it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, like just
I'm
being
like,
nice to you. Yeah.
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 I'm like, I'm pretty confident. I have a self-awareness that, I'm pretty good at what I put my mind to. But I'm like, come
Mm-hmm.
on, there's so many speakers, there's so many people in this world, right? Me? Really? I'm the best one you've ever heard? Because now I'm thinking about people you've heard on YouTube. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about other people I've looked at as mentors. But it just so happened everywhere I go, it would always happen. You're the best. You're the best. It literally just happened again. I spoke at a middle school, and I went to the chiropractor that had me speak there, and I got adjusted. And she was like, you know what? We've had other speakers come, and everybody always says you were the best one. I wish I could
Wow.
get you to come again. So that's where I started happening. I started going, I delivered. And you know when you're really in your dharma, and your dharma is just basically a fancy word for the reason, your purpose, all that stuff. When
Yeah.
things flow. Because if I sat here just like this interview, when I go speak, I don't write note cards. Now I'm not telling
Yeah.
anybody not to have note cards, but I don't write note cards because I want to be authentic. I want to make sure what I'm saying is not premeditated. I want to make sure it's really in me. And I think that's also why it's so important to be in alignment. Because if you're really
Yeah.
not living what you portray, when the
Yeah.
spotlight gets on you and you're not ready, it's gonna come out. But when the spotlight gets on me, all that comes out is really what's inside, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what happened. And I want to stay there for a second because I want people to realize that that's why it's so important to do things you love. Because if you ask me, why would I start reading books? Why did I start doing all this stuff? It wasn't because I knew I had to get to a certain point. It's because I was following my heart. So that, because if you would have asked me to read a book after I graduated high school, I'd have been like, book? Ah, ah, I'm not reading again. No, right? But when I started loving an aspect of my life, I wanted to master it naturally. If you
Yeah.
don't love something, you're not going to put in the time, like because the human will's not behind you, right?
This is
So
so true
then,
because you were trying to help others too. So you were trying to
exactly,
learn. Yes, you have the charisma. You have the charisma to talk. You don't have the fear of a stage, and that's very important. So you do have the charisma. You have some knowledge, but you wanted to master it by reading more books and trying to talk to the others to help them out in the journey, because
for,
your journey is actually very it's difficult what you've been through. This is like The Weeknd, you know, the famous singer. I love The Weeknd. He has been through a lot, and look at what he have accomplished right now.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, so following what you love, be willing to master the skills because you don't know when your time's going to come, but you can't connect the dots looking forward. You only connect them looking back, but you got to keep connecting them. Your intuition says do this, go master it. You talk to this person, do it. Get out of the situation, leave it. Follow your intuition. Get one in your core, follow your heart. Because you look back one day and be like, wow, this all lined up. So that's exactly what happened. I was just following, and I looked back and connected. I said, oh, wow, I was doing all that already. I was doing live videos on my Instagram and stuff for almost every day just because I just felt I had this information I wanted to share. So by the time it was time for me to start speaking, I was on. I was on a different frequency. Boom, boom. So then everywhere I speak, all of a sudden, people say, you need to get Timmy. You got to get Timmy to speak. 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 And this how it started manifesting. And
That's
it's still
awesome.
manifesting, to be
Yeah, it
honest with you.
is. Oh, absolutely. I know you're coming to New York soon. So tell us a little bit about this, because, you know, we are in New Jersey, and I know we have a lot of, you know, friends and, you know, viewers, listeners. They would like to see you. So tell us a little bit about your schedule.
Yes, most definitely. So I will be in New York speaking February 18th. I don't have the exact address off the top of my head. I have a lot of speaking engagements coming up, but it is basically I'm going to share my story.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my story, my life lessons, really in depth too, and how I've gotten to where I've gotten to. And really, my whole intention is I remember one time I was at an event like this, right? And a gentleman who's a mentor of mine and still one of my closest friends, right? He said one thing to me and it changed my life forever. And I said, I want to get so versed and so powerful that I could be that person. I could say one thing to somebody and have their life change. And so that's basically my intention. When I go somewhere, through my speaking, through my story, through my lessons, I want to make sure at least one person leaves that room life shifted forever. So I can
Yeah.
tell you if you do show up, and we'll definitely get you the link. I know I sent you the link and the
Yeah.
flyer,
Yeah.
so
We're
we
going
can
to
definitely
share
get the
all of
information.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want you to give us, or give the listeners,
Mm.
5 tips on how to have a successful, happy life.
Mm.
That's a difficult one.
I gotta close my
Okay.
eyes and get in
Okay.
this one. All right. I'm just gonna say exactly what comes to me. Number one, be authentic. Be 100% authentic in every area of your life. I've seen a lot of people struggle because they're out of alignment. Maybe one area of their life they live in one way, and the other area of their life they're not. I'll tell you a story so I can teach you what I mean by that. My daughter's mother, who's an amazing person, we were not a vibrational match. And I kept trying to make it work, and I kept trying to make it work. And I knew it wasn't right. And I kept showing up to it every day. And every day I show up to it, I felt a little bit more sad because really what I was saying to myself was, I'm not worth having what I really want. So I'm going to keep showing up for this, right? And she's an amazing person, but this is about me. And what happened was one day in meditation and thought and prayer, I got told, I said, the reason why you're not excited to go make $1 million right now and really get after it is because even if I gave it to you, you wouldn't want to split it with the person you're with right now. So it can't come into your life. So I had to be authentic and real and leave that situation, right?
Mhm.
So, and a lot of people, a lot of different things. Some people still have vices in the background that are not in alignment with who they want to be. And we all have vices. Don't think no human is without a blemish, right?
True.
But the quicker you can be more authentic and in alignment, and the word really is integrous with every aspect of your life, the quicker you move the space for things that aren't meant for you. And when you clear space, the things can come in and you have the focus to just go to where you're going to go. So be integrous. That's what I'll say. Be integrous in every area of your life. Number two, your habits. Understand you don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your habits. You can come out here and say, I'm gonna get a six-pack. That's my goal. And you can be all excited about getting that six-pack. But if you're eating pizza every night, if you're skipping meals, if you're not getting the right amount of protein, if you're not doing the right workouts to burn body fat, right? That six-pack ain't coming. Now I can take somebody else who's just like, hey, I don't even know what my end goal is, but I'm gonna just be healthy and work on healthy habits. They're gonna get a six-pack much faster than the person that just says I'm gonna get a six-pack, right? Same thing with business. It's just, yeah, I'm gonna start my business, but you're waking up right before you gotta go to work. You're not reading any books on business mastery. You're not increasing your emotional intelligence so you can work with people. You're not going to grow that business.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can take somebody else that's like, hey, listen, I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'm going to just work on every little thing I can work on. They're going to be further ahead. So you rise to the level of your habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your habits, right? Tip number 3, personal development. Work on yourself.
Yeah.
It's, school education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
School can teach you all the skills and what to do, and I just use your story, for example, too. Like a lot of people go to dentist school, right? But no one taught you but yourself how to improve your people skills, how to have
Absolutely.
the vision and all. You taught yourself that through
Yeah.
personal development.
Yeah.
Whether it's books, putting yourself in situations, getting mentors, stepping out of your comfort zone, going above and beyond, all these things.
Absolutely.
Because, if our thoughts and actions have created the life we have now, then I think we can agree. If we want a bigger and more grandiose life, we have to become better. We have to think different. We have to act different, right? Cool. Number 4, lead with love. If you lead with love, and I'm not talking about like the fuzzy wuzzy Cinderella, I'm talking about like love. Like if you just think about people and treat people and things in this world as you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
It'll open up so many doors for you.
Yeah.
It'll open up so many doors for you. And you'll move different because you'll start thinking, do I love what I'm doing, or am I doing it just because I'm chasing a dollar? Because if you're always chasing something, you're a slave to it. The dollar goes, you're like the sheep. No, stop. Stop running around like a chicken with your head cut off. What do you love to do? And then go do it at its maximum capacity. And then watch how people see your value and see what you can bring. And money chases you.
Yeah.
right?
This is so true. If you have a team, guys, you have to spoil your team. And if you have clients, you also have to spoil your clients. And I'm not talking like spoil them with gifts and stuff, but with being completely genuine and
Precisely.
authentic, just like what you said.
And then last but not least, learn your spiritual side. I'm not telling you what religion to do. I don't go down that path. But we are spiritual beings having a human experience. If you can really learn, and as a matter of fact, if that's so much like, for you, learn physics. Learn how this universe works. Because I can take two people that do the same exact thing. One person will excel while the other person struggles. Why is that? Oh man, I would say something that's
Getting better, getting
balloons, right? So I could say two people do the same exact thing. Now, one person has, is in tune with their spirit. They know about the power of intention. They really, really care for people. They do things from the heart. People, if it wasn't like, you ever hear somebody say, I have a gut feeling about something?
Yeah.
Right? So if feelings weren't that important, then why would we say that? There's a feeling we have, like, I just get a gut feeling about this person. I just get a gut feeling about this was the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
So two people could be doing the same thing. One person, people go see them and be like, ooh, something was just off about them. Like they didn't really do nothing wrong, but I just feel comfortable with them. Another person, they go and be like, you know what? I don't know what it is. I just, that person, like, they just really vibed with me. They were my person, right?
Yeah.
But you won't be able to identify that, learn that until you really get in tune with your spiritual side, right? Because everything, like even like nature, everything runs that way. Everything's made a certain way. And if you play the game of life the way it's meant to be played, you'll win. But if you don't even know how the game's being played, chances are you're not going to do too well.
Yeah. That's very deep, my dear. Wow. Wow. We didn't even like prepare for this. We're just like, oh, let's hop on a Zoom meeting right now.
Yeah. That's the best way.
I know. So back now to your very first question. What makes you a human? Why you are a human? Yeah.
Yeah. What I had asked, what's a human being, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Emphasis on the word being, right? Human being, right? So therefore, and I always like to say it's like a human becoming, but let's break it down what I mean by like what is a human being. So we never get taught that in school. We never get taught, how this brain works, how everything about us works. So when I say what is a human being really is like if you ask me in my studies, the most simple way I could explain it is like a power center walking around, right? Everything's energy. First, that's one thing we get to learn, energy. If you learn how that works, right? Because you're a human being, just like a lion does certain things, like make sure it operates as a lion. As a human, one of our biggest things, we're energetic, we're spiritual beings, right? So therefore, people put themselves around certain things and situations that kill their spirit. You ever be with somebody, you just be so drained?
Yeah.
And you don't identify, oh, we should learn how to put ourselves in situations that give us more life. Learn about what foods you should be eating to get more life. Because you're either going to get more life from everything or get life taken away from you. There's foods that have more energy. Like, I think they measure in joules. Like, they look at fruit has the highest amount. You eat fruit, you're going to be energized. You go eat a piece of cake, you don't have energy for like 5 minutes and you have a crash, right?
True.
So we need to learn what it means to be a human being, right? We also get to learn things like this. Nobody ever thinks like this. Very few people, and you'll only get here if you really want to discover what being a human being means, right? So every other animal in this universe can only do what its DNA says it can do. A lion is not going to wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm tired of living on the savannah. The jungle looks like a much better place. I'm going to go into the jungle, have a conversation with the tiger, say, hey, I'm going to just stay over here and do that. No, a lion is only going to do what a lion does. You're never going to see an eagle talking about, you know what? I'm tired of eating this fish. You know what? Let's go eat, some cows, right? Like, you'll never see that. So that's their thing. Now, humans, we're the only organism that can see something in here and not even be real and then make it real. Now, why is this so important to me? Okay, right now I'm sitting on a chair, an iPhone's on a tripod, is holding it. Before, somebody had to sit there and think, you know what? We don't have anything to sit on. Let's make a chair. A chair got
True.
created. We don't have anything to hold our phones. Let's make a tripod. We don't have a phone. We can't communicate with people across the world instantaneously. Somebody had to see it here and then create it. Why is that important? Because to be a human being, the most natural thing we can do is be creative. When you're not being creative, you're dying because you're not really living truly as a human being. Somebody where every piece of their life is so formed, you wake up at this time, go to work at this time, get home at this time, feed the kids at this time, go to sleep at this time, rinse and repeat. Either two things will happen, three things will happen. One, they'll just settle into it and be like, it's life. And you ask them, how's the day? Oh, another day, another dollar, right?
It's like a robot. You become like a little robot, like a trained robot. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Number two, you have a mental breakdown.
Mhm.
Or number three, you'll change it, right? Now, why is that? Because again, as human beings, we have habitual habits. We're habitual. We have habitual nature. And why is that? Because just like everything in the universe, there is a law of hypnotic rhythm. Hypnotic rhythm. If you do a habit over and over and over, it creates a strong tie connection in your neuron pathway, right? And you will keep doing it. So it's very important to learn, like, oh shoot, if I don't want this to be my life, I better start being creative so I don't become a robot. And once hypnotic rhythm is locked in, here's the thing. The only time it will change, it usually happens around mid-30s. In your mid-30s, if you're already on a personal growth point, you're thinking for yourself, all that stuff, you'll never have that because you'll always think, you'll be like, hold on, that don't feel right. That's not right. Let me do that. If you haven't, one or two things will happen. Either you'll get woken up from watching things like this interview and you'll be like, whoa, I do the same thing. I do accept this paradigm. I do think this is the only way things get done. Why is that? Right? Or you'll have a tragic life event happen where you realize, oh, shoot, I could have died, or this could have happened. I need to change the way I'm doing because I'm not getting this life back. But that's why, because as human beings, the law of hypnotic rhythm controls everything. And it's a needed law. Why? It's the same law that dictates as we breathe out carbon dioxide, the tree will take the carbon dioxide and give us back oxygen. It will make sure everything does what it's supposed to do. It just so happens as humans, the one thing that we were given control of was our own mind. So we're the only creatures that can have control over that. But if we don't use it, just like anything in this human body, put your arm in the sleeve, atrophy. If you don't use it, eventually you'll lose it. Same thing with your mind. So that's what I mean. Ask yourself and discover, what is really a human being? What is my caliber capabilities? How does my mind work? You'll be, wow, I'm a power center. I can create things. I rise and fall on habits. Wow, I'm really powerful.
Yeah.
I'm amazing.
So true. You know what I do in the morning? I usually wake up first person in the house. I wake up like sometimes 4:30, 5 a.m. I'm awake. I go get my coffee. And this is when I start to actually think about the day, not just today, and then the week, and then the month. And then I start to plan, where am I going to be in this next month, 5 months, a year? And then I start to put little dots, little points. This is how we're going to do things. And then this is how you start to get a vision. And this is how I ended up, having that vision of building the biggest, like, nicest office in the United States. And everybody thought I was crazy, actually, when I said I'm going to do it. But I said, you don't know, I'm actually going to do it. And despite all the challenges that we really overcame, I think I get fueled by challenges. I get fueled. If there's something stopping me, I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to get over this and I'm going to get it done. And I actually did. And everybody thought, you're not going to be able to this. This is going to take you forever. It took me 8 months because I was so focused. I think being focused too will get you where you want.
Yeah. Because again, being energetic beings and our thoughts carry energy. If you have one single thought and you have a heart attachment to it, means something to you, the thought goes out, the heart magnifies that thought, shoots it out. And if you only think about one thing, what could take people years to do, you'll do it in 8 months because you created so much energy. But we're energetic beings. All of a sudden, the right people will come, the right situations will come. And see so many times people try to move matter against matter. Like we just see stuff, got to pick this up, like my tea I'm drinking here, put it down, right? But if we sit back and say, hold on, everything that happens in matter is because of what's going on in here anyways. Let's take some time to make sure as we're moving through matter, we're attracting what's to us faster as well. Let's be focused. Think about when you can't find me a focused person that fails.
Yeah.
People who fail usually aren't focused. There's no discipline in their life. There's no rhyme or reason. So anything can come in, they're quit easily, right?
Yeah.
But a focused person, every hyper-focused individual accomplishes it throughout history. Study history. Yeah. Study other humans. You'll see it.
Yep. Well, that was so nice today, Timmy. That was really, really, really incredible. And is there anything else you want to say? I mean, listen, I'm enjoying this. I'm really having fun.
Yeah, me too. I would just say this, right, for all the viewers, and think about this as we start to close out. And you know this to be true, like in your heart, you know this to be true. If you can be anything in this life, anything, why not choose to become your best version? Why not? Why not find out how great you can become? Why not find out what you can accomplish? Why not find out how? I tell my clients, certain people are like, well, health's just not a priority for me. No. Why would you not find out how in shape you can get? Just know what it feels. The only thing we're going to take in this life when we leave is the experiences. That's it. And the intensity at which we allow ourselves to experience them. So why not? Why not go after that business you really want to do? Why not love the person you really want to love? Why not?
That's excellent. And I think love yourself too.
Exactly.
You have to love yourself. Yeah. Well, that was incredible. Yeah.
Until you love yourself. Exactly.
Yeah. I am very thankful for this amazing episode today, Timmy. I think we might have more down the line because you have so much to talk about. I'm going to be there for you on February 18th. I remember I'm going to put, I will put all the link, how to follow Timmy, how to get to know him, how to listen to him in the show notes. And it was a blessing today. That was a beautiful, beautiful episode. Beautiful, lots of energy. I can feel how positive you are, and I can actually feel it. So I'm pretty sure everybody else is going to be motivated, guys. Well, and you have a beautiful smile right now too, Timmy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So don't forget, guys, keep smiling with Dr. Saad and take care of your teeth because they will take care of you literally for the rest of your life. Have a good one, everybody.